Hi there, DeeperNaut, and welcome to this Friday's video, which is actually on a Saturday because work happened. I was really busy. So we're going to talk about Genesis. What happens now? So if you don't already know, the Genesis miners, they stepped down on the 28th of August, so in 2 days' time now, and they'll be on a new earning scheme, which is not as good as what they had before. However, it had to happen. I know people don't like it, the Genesis miners, a lot of them will probably complain. I don't blame you. Your initial outlay was probably quite high, so I feel for you. However, so the way it is now, we're going to see what it is now. So you had the Gold Genesis, which was also called Phase 1, and the Silver Genesis, which was also called Phase 2. That cost you 468,000 DPR, which is quite a lot at the time, especially if it was like 10 cents a token to get tier 8. And the Gold Genesis mining, see there, it would make you 1,153 DPR every single day. And the Phase 2 Silver would make you 1,025 DPR every single day. And the price is, that would be $4.62 a day at like 0.0035, so roughly today's price. Now the big problem with the Genesis miners and what a lot of people have got is when they got these, the token price was somewhere up like 0.2, which was like what, just under $10,000 to stake to tier 8, or a tier 0.1 it was like $5,000, 4,680, and the returns were like $40 a day. But if you look, well, it's more than that, but if you look now, they're getting $4.62 back. So I mean, you can see how they might be a little bit upset that the token price is so low and they're not going to make the money back at the current token price. Now, I'll discuss later what perhaps they should have been doing. I mean, they can do whatever they like, but I know what I would have been doing, but yeah. So now let's look at what's coming on August 28th. So right off the bat, brace yourself. I mean, look at this. So on August 28th, the Gold and Genesis miners will all be on the same kind of level. There won't be the slight discrepancy between Phase 1 and Phase 2. So what's going to happen is they will receive the same amount of DPR that the basic miners have. So the minis, the picos, and all that, they'll receive the same. So I've rounded it all up for most of it, so 164 DPR every single day if you're on tier 8. Now, you'll also get an extra 10%. So as soon as this comes in, you'll drop down to 164 plus 10%, which will give you 180 DPR a day. But remember, it was $4.62 a day, and now they're only going to get 63 cents a day. Can you see where they might be a little bit upset? On the plus side, they do only need 101,000 DPR to stake to get to tier 8 now, to get that extra 10%, but unfortunately, they've probably already got to tier 8 just organically because they've had these things for such a long time, and they're basically going to get a refund. So on the last one it was about 468,000 or something, so minus 101,000, they'll probably get back 300 something K. Alright, they can then sell that, they can keep it, stake 3 more devices to get them to tier 8, and then get another 480 DPR a day or something. But yeah, so can you see where this is a bit of an issue? Now, so basic miners will get 164 a day. Genesis Phase 1 and Phase 2 will get 180 a day, but that won't be forever, and I'll explain why. So this all comes in and they get 10% more. Brilliant. However, every 6 months, their extra amount, so their 10% more on top, will go down by 1%. Okay, so 6 months later, so the end of April 2024, they will go from earning 10% more to 9% more, and this is how much they will then earn. So you can see there, it's 164, which is the basic rate, but now it's 16. It's gone from 16.4 DPR extra to 14.8, which is 9%. So that's now 178.76 DPR, which is 62 cents a day, which is only 1 penny less than what it was before. That's in regards to the token price, because the token price is so low, really, that percentage doesn't really count for anything. But then 6 months later on, in October of 2024, you will then go from 9%, because 6 months later, so 9% to 8%, so you lose another 1%. So it's gone down to 13.12 DPR extra on top of basic. So 164 DPR a day, which everyone gets at tier 8, and then 13.12 DPR, which is 177 DPR a day, which is pretty much the same price, 62 cents a day. So you can see how the percentage doesn't really make a difference now. I mean, maybe in like a year's time, if the token pumps and it gets up to like a penny or 10 cents, then God willing, then that will be a massive issue. I mean, you'll get what, an extra few bucks a day, or like an extra 30 cents a day on top of whatever you're getting. So yeah, it's just going to keep going down like that over and over and over. Every 6 months it will drop 1% until you get to 2.5 years after August 28th of this year. So 5 lots of 6 months, because then you will have dropped down 5%, so 1% every 6 months, and then you get to 5% more than everybody else. So you'll get your 164 DPR a day through basic mining, and then you'll get an extra 8.2 DPR a day, which is 5% of the 164. That will total 172.2 DPR a day, which at the current price, or at 0.0035, it is 60 cents a day. So you can see how from the very beginning, the percentage it's not really important. What's important is that it's kind of a perk. But at this price, it's not a very big perk. It's the DPR amount which you need to see. So yeah, that is what's going to basically happen. So it's going to start off on the 28th. You'll get 10% of like more than what everybody else gets on basic. You'll probably have some facility where you can withdraw the excess DPR that you have to get you to 101k, and then every 6 months you'll drop 1% of that 10% bonus until you get to 5%, and then it'll stay the same. However, there is a little bit of an issue with this, and that is because it ends in January 2025, while mining is meant to stop in 2025. So you're not going to get that long at 5%, but I mean, you've got 2.5 years where you'll be plodding along at more than 5%. So swings and roundabouts. But yeah, a lot of people are going to be upset. I'm going to go through final thoughts. It's going to be a bit of a long one because I want to discuss this a bit more. However, don't fret. I mean, this might not even actually happen. The mining itself, when they said, "Oh, we're going to transition over to easy mining," they were going to bring in this new thing, and it never happened. And they didn't update the calculator. Nothing changed on the dashboard. It just didn't happen. I mean, maybe they're going to be slow on this as well. Who knows? It'd be nice to get it all done so it's all finished. But obviously, the Genesis miners will probably appreciate a little bit more, where they can spend, like, they can do 1 day and get the same as like 7 days. Yeah, so that is basically what's going to happen on August the 28th in a couple of days for Genesis Phase 1 and Phase 2 miners. Okay, so we're now just going to do the final thoughts. It's going to be a bit of a long one, so I mean, by all means, if you're not a Genesis node, you can tune out. So I realise you're going to be upset, right? You might have put in a lot of money into these. So you bought the Genesis node, and you spent a fortune on getting maybe 100,000 DPR to stake to whatever level, and then you climbed a couple of levels. Or maybe you bought this thing, you spent 1,000 DPR, so 100 bucks at the time at 10 cents, and you didn't, and you just earned the organic credit score, and you're quite high up there, and you've been earning loads of free DPR. So I want to kind of just basically say that, yeah, I know, I do kind of get how you might be a bit upset. It's honestly, it's not fair, really. I mean, it's not. You can't. No matter which way you slice it, it's not really fair. But I don't think that's especially Deeper's fault. Deeper have not focused on the DPR token itself. They have said that they won't, because that's not what they're there for. They want the token to have organic growth. They're not going to waste resources in trying to get it pumped, which is fair. But I realise that you guys want a return on what you've spent, and I want a return on what I've spent. I haven't broken even, but it'd be nice if I did. But I know that's not going to happen for a while. I haven't sold any DPR either. If I were a Genesis node and I'd spent all that money, like 10 cents a coin or token, I wouldn't have sold it, or sold it on the way down and then re-bought up. But I know hindsight is a wonderful thing, and you know, times can be hard for people. They might have sold DPR because they really need it, and that is, you know, that's completely their choice. Can't really fault that. Now, obviously, I think you shouldn't have sold. The DPR price, I'm pretty sure it's, well, not financial advice, obviously, I've got to say that, I think. I think it's going to go up. I haven't sold any. I've got quite a bit now saved up for the validation node, but I just wanted to kind of say that I do kind of get where you're coming from. You want your money back, and I would want mine back too. It doesn't look great for you guys. The token price is really low. We're just waiting for this bull run, and it seems to be taking forever. So all I would say is just hang in there and just wait. There's no point to sell now for like $4 a day. Yeah. So I feel for you. Right. So what does this mean for the token itself, though? So a lot of the sell pressure, I've been told by people in the know that a lot of the sell pressure in regards to the DPR token is because Genesis miners are going to getting rid of their DPR rewards every single day. Now, I don't know how they can know that. However, that is what I've been told. So fingers crossed that when they stop this, and Genesis miners, if they've already sold their bags, they won't have any to sell, and they won't be receiving this massive amount of DPR every single day, so they can then continue to sell. That should provide deflation, which will then hopefully push the token up, or at least stop the token from going down. However, this is all speculation. I'm not an investor, but that's just what I hope. And for the project, that would be good. That would get a lot of new people in. I do kind of see a bit of a giveaway here as well, because they've released the air, and obviously they're going to want people to stake and stuff, but the token price is really low, so a lot of people can buy DPR and stake it. The returns aren't brilliant, but they're not too bad at that price. So people are going to want to return on that, so hopefully that will push the price up quite a bit as well. I think I figured it out that they've sold, I think last week they sold 1,800 and something airs. So if that's true and everybody buys 100,000 tokens because it's so cheap and stakes it, that's quite a lot. Yeah, which will then obviously be locked up. But that will also create more inflation because more people will get rewards. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I was also thinking, like, what is the point in them giving you 10% extra when the coin price is so low, and it's only going to be valid for like the next 2.5 years? So I'm thinking that they know something that we don't know, because it's a bit of a kick in the face to give people to knock people down who've spent so much money to Genesis, to basic mining 2.0 on 164 a day, and only give them an extra 18 DPR a day. So do they know that the token price is going to go up? It seems pretty bad to like only give people an extra like 6 cents every single day. So they must be kind of banking on people saving it up and selling it when the price is high. So the question is, when is the price going to be high? So I think Deeper kind of knows things that we don't on that. But we'll see. Anyway, I've drawn on for too long. You're probably bored. I'm gonna go back and edit the video so that there's some motorbike footage of me riding. That's fun. All right. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. This video's a bit late. I have to work, but you've got it, so it's great. And I will see you tomorrow now for the weekly update. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye bye.